If it's not here, it's here. It's here. But it's very well. So just want to check the system because we have been using it like in 3 days.
Oh, and I can see here my playlist is not here. My original playlist. Yeah. This one is what is it? This one. So the original one is not here.
Oh, I've tasted. I'll tell the world what I've tasted.
Can you see that I'm
My goodness, toward me won't be wasted. I'll never sing my love for you.
Yeah, where did you find this? What is that? Oh, okay. Okay, let me take over. Where is the thing? Austin, please set me up and then and then the jingle, yeah, competition, and so yes.
It's there, but I don't know how it's on our show there. But we can see tomorrow.
Your grace towards me makes me worthy.
For my worship out on the lover of my soul. Hallelujah. Leveban sonda vabakata vande vebesudi andaya. Levebesondi ande vebesudi ande vebehai. Brande vebende vebesudi andaya. Levambanda vebesondi ande vi ansodi andai. Shedi and
Streaming live on ChavalComsRadio.co.za. The radio that comes to you. ChavalComs Radio.
Good evening and welcome to Breaking Through with Tumie. Guys, it's that time of the week, Thursday and Friday. Tumie is here. I'm, of course, sitting with powerhouses, game changers, and amazing men and women of God that have had to pay the price for their amazing journeys that they've been through. I mean, they've got scars to show, guys. And not only scars, I mean, I was just having a conversation, just a brief chat with our guest today. Her name is Fezi. Fezi is a holistic life coach, guys. She's a qualified life coach. She studied psychology, even though she didn't go all the way to PhD. But yes, she's got everything it takes for her to be doing what she's doing today. Fezi, welcome to Breaking Through with Tumie.
Hi, Tumie.
Hello, Fezi. I love how we met. Like, it was so brief, very straight to the point. And guys, guess what? She's here. Fezi, I want you to tell us who are you? Who's Fezi? And why holistic life coach?
Wow, great question. Well, thank you so much for having me, and I just love your energy, your spirit. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
So I am Fezi Twala, and Twala is my married surname. So
Fezi Twala, guys.
yes, I am a KZN girl. Actually, I was born and bred in the KZN, and come up to Johannesburg in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And even though I've been in Joburg for over 20 years, I still don't, regard myself as a Joburg girl. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know why.
But many Zulu girls are like this. Like, I know I've got a lot of friends that are Zulu and Xhosa that are not from Joburg. Like, they don't consider Joburg home. It's just a place to grind.
It's 22 years later. Okay, so who am I? I am a lover of transformation. I'm a lover of change.
Yes.
I'm a lover of going back to who we really are.
Yes.
So that's why I do what I do. I
Mhm.
love the process of healing. I love to
Mhm.
see transformation in real time, to see people's lives
Mhm.
and my life as well, to, you know, moving from here to there, you know,
Yes.
moving to where I may feel stuck to where I want to be.
Mhm.
That is who I am. That's what I do. So I
Mhm.
guess I mediate between the now and the then.
And the then.
I'm like the bridge.
Come with it. The now and the then, guys. She's
I-
the bridge. Get it
I'm,
correct.
yeah. So I can, let's get you over to the then.
Yes, let's get you over to the other side. Yes, to the
Definitely.
winning side.
Definitely.
Mm.
Now that's who I am. I'm a mother of
Yes.
2 kids, a
Mhm.
wife, and I am spirit first and foremost.
Come with it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm a spiritual being having this human experience with
Yes.
you,
Yes.
with all of you,
Yes.
and experiencing each other.
Yes.
One of the biggest things for me in
Mhm.
my being is
Yes.
love, and how I can
Yes.
express love to others,
Ah.
and how I can just channel the love of God through me and through how I show up in the world.
Yes, yes.
That's who I am.
Wow. Talking about love, Fezi, we're just gonna get straight into it. Like I've had a friend of mine, a very, very dear friend of mine. She actually turned into family, you know. Her name is Nandipa Williams. We knew her as Nandipa Jonas then. So now of course she's married to Mr. Williams. I never actually understood my friendship with Nandi. Nandi was that friend that would always love you, even when you felt unlovable. I could never understand. And we met at church. We walked together, you know, with God, and I just could never understand Nandi. Like I could never understand her. And I would fight her, you know, you retaliate, you know, you rebel against this love. You're like, what is this? You know, and do you know, like I've been friends with this girl like for over 12 years. It's only last year when it actually hit me that this girl understood her mandate,
Wow,
of which it was love.
beautiful.
Like, you know, I remember I broke down before her. It was her wedding weekend. We flew to East London for her wedding. That's where she's from. And I just looked at Nandi. I looked at her guest list, the people that were there, the vibe at her wedding,
Mhm.
the power of the Holy Spirit in that place. We
Mhm.
couldn't stop dancing. We were happy. And we were surrounded, I mean, with her friends. You know, Xhosa chicks are very strong characters, you know. And she was also worried, are my friends going to get along? You know, guess what? There was just so much love, so much peace.
Beautiful.
It took me over 12 years to understand that this girl knew what love was. She understood the mandate of being in Christ.
Definitely.
Which is we are called to love.
Yes.
And
yes.
when you love, you know, when you operate from a place of love, things just flow. Everything start making sense. You know, you are at peace with yourself. You are at peace with others. And you push away all these things, the traumatic life experiences that, they don't know what I've been through, you know, things like that. And you've touched something in me, you know, and I think I just want to expound more like on love with you.
Definitely.
You know,
let's go for it.
For one to actually get to a place where they say, you know what, God, I actually understand. I understand why you called me. I understand why you chose me. I understand why you knocked at my door and you gave me the grace to open. Because everything we do as children of God is by grace. You know, you gave me the grace to open the door. And phew.
So I would say, you know, for
wow,
one,
I'm without words, me, for the first time, me.
Love has moved you.
Yes.
That's what love does. Well, I really believe that for one to get to a point where they can understand their mandates, they can get clear what they're called for, what their purpose is, one needs to know who they are.
Yes. And I struggled so much in my life. Like I'm 39 years old this year, today. And like I think also like in my journey with marriage, like my identity, you know, like this thing that our elders speak about, that you need to know who you are, you know, you need to, even in your marriage, as you serving your husband, your identity still needs to be solid. You still need to be solid. And You know, Dumi just went in thinking, oh, my Father, my God, you are the, you are the light.
Mhm.
You know, you answered my prayer, Father. Here's a man. Oh, God, look at him, Daddy. Thank you, Jesus. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
and he's ticking all the boxes, Lord, and everything else. But identity,
definitely.
you
And
ended up living in a shadow, like you're in a shadow.
mm,
And you forget that you actually called.
and look, you may not even be aware that you are called if you are not aware of who you are. So it's so very important to understand who you are, and that's where the
Yes.
love piece comes from.
Yes.
In essence, right?
Mm.
The what we call as grace, right,
Mhm.
is perhaps an element of love, right? The thing that sustains the universe, the thing that sustains the world, that sustains us, that animates us is love, because that is what God is, right? And so when you have a clear understanding of who you are, you have a clear understanding that you are from God, and so you are love, right? Your identity is love. You are an emanation of love. And so if you understand that I am love, then how you express, how you live, how you show up, how you treat other people, how you treat yourself is going to be from a place of love. But if you have no idea who you are,
Yes. Guys, like I honestly struggled. Like I really, really struggled. I really, really struggled. And to even get to a point where you actually say, wow, God, you love me.
mhm,
You know, Jesus, you're all about me. You know, like Holy Spirit, you manifested yourself to me. Like you've made yourself known to me, you know?
mhm,
And after that, of course, like it's like, okay, you know, he's here. Yeah, he loves me, guys, you know?
mhm,
And moving right along, like you start operating from a place of understanding,
mhm,
of revelation,
mhm,
of wisdom.
mhm.
And now you actually even react differently to conflict, because there's a lot of broken people out there. You know, people are very conflictual and be very ready to attack, you know, and
Mhm.
now you react differently. You're like, okay, so I need to love this person,
Yeah.
you know, and you're the first to apologize.
Yeah.
You're the first to show up. You're the first to make them feel that, listen, you matter, you're important, you are loved,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
you are valuable, you know, you're a big person.
Actually,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I get you. Look, the idea of knowing who you are, the idea of knowing who you are, and knowing that you are loved,
Yes,
right,
yes.
will help you to choose, right, quite consciously or intentionally how you are going to show up in the world. So it's not so much, when you think about conflict and triggers and people not doing what they're supposed to do, and so we are upset. It's not so much about the other person, it's about me, right? It's not so much about the person being broken, so I must kind of tiptoe around them, but it's about me being triggered by their brokenness on my brokenness. So when someone you notice this person triggers me, I mean, she's obviously in pain, I mean, she's broken. I'm triggered because parts of me are broken as well. And so when we interact with people and we understand that our expression is love, not even should be, we are the love of God. And so if I understand that my expression is love and I'm being triggered by that person who's behaving in this way that is driving me crazy, that means there is something within me
that you still need
that
to
I
work
need
on?
to work on, that I need
So
to
do you
heal.
think that as people we're supposed to get that place where we are trigger free? Yes, actually. Wow. I love today's guest, guys. Like, I'm maximizing the moment. I'm all for therapy. Like, I'm seeing 2 therapists in my life. And yeah, today's topic, yes, we thank God.
So I think that we experience life over a period of time. Like, let's, for example, when we say we've had traumatic experiences, they don't all happen in 6 months and then we walk around and say, I'm carrying trauma for the past 6 months. It happens throughout life, right? And so the healing of it and the processing of it may require just as much time, because it will come up to your awareness for you to heal at different times. So you can't say, okay, I've seen a therapist, or I've worked with a coach, and and so I've ticked all the boxes. I'm done now. Perhaps you are done with what was in your awareness, right? as you continue to live your life, someone out there was going to come and trigger something you were totally oblivious of, and it comes up, it rises up to your awareness, and then you have to work on that.
Wow. Oh, hi, yeah. So what is holistic? What is a holistic life coach?
So a holistic life
Yes,
yeah.
you.
The holistic I'm talking
Yes.
about.
Guys, let me show you my guest. Yeah, that is Fezi. Mrs. Fezi Twala, guys.
Yes, definitely. Wife to one husband.
Yes, wife to one husband. Guys, there is real love in the studio. Don't be jealous.
So, okay. So what I mean when I say I'm a holistic life coach,
Yes,
I mean that I am able to coach you and help you, walk alongside you, be on, the sidelines of your life, helping you, motivating you along on different aspects of your life. So I work on a more integrated approach, right, which will include NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, and therapies such as TBC, there, different types of modalities. Whereas, you can have a mindset coach, right, who focus on your mindset and use modalities that speak to that. And you can have perhaps a spiritual life coach who will focus only on your spirituality. You can have an NLP practitioner working on you just for that part.
Yes.
But I integrate all of these modalities and help you in a more holistic way. So even your general wellness, I can actually help you with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure. So how did you come about to know that, what, this is what I'm called for, and I'm going to embrace it, and I'm just going to engulf myself in this and understand that, what, this is my gift to the world. This is my purpose.
Wonderful question.
Wonderful question.
So I'm of the belief that purpose unfolds over time, right? It has different stages and phases.
Yes.
And look, I was raised by my grandmother because around the age of 4, I got sick, right? And I had to leave my parents and go stay with my grandmother. Okay. And my grandmother was, both her and my grandfather were pastors, right? And by the time I lived with her, they had retired. Okay. But I believe I had to go and stay I got sick because I wanted. I believe I got sick because I wanted to go and stay with my grandmother. Okay. So that I can learn from her, so that I can connect with her and really understand spirituality and help, and allow that kind of impartation from a very young age, from this maternal, being in my life. So I think I chose that whole getting sick thing. Yes. That's what I believe. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Yes. Okay, so that's how I grew up. And then, of course, you grow up, you find your way, you try and individuate and try and find who you are, particularly in your teenage years. And you start saying, I don't like this, I want this. And you try and go against everything that everybody who has something to say says in your life. Yes. You want to do your own thing. That's the process of individuation. Okay. It's perfectly fine and it's quite necessary, right? It's not adolescent stage, guys, please. Okay. It's individuation. Okay. People need to go through that so that they can know who they are and get clear what is it that they desire for their lives. Okay, so that's me. I go through that. Okay. And then I find myself realizing that I'm called to work with people on a spiritual level. So I go to seminary, I study theology. I study theology as well. Yes. Who are you? And I am actually ordained. Wow, okay. You're a pastor. Yes, I am ordained. And so that work, right, led me to realize that actually I am called to help people. I am called to facilitate the healing process, right? However, because in the corporate world, I am in the transformation space. I'm in the skills development space. So I do coach and I do coach managers, executives. So I am in the socioeconomic transformation space,
Yes.
and I help companies and managers understand what they can do to to impact the socioeconomic in the country.
Mhm.
And so that particular work led me to realize that a lot of the people I work with, they want change, right? In business, in their work, in their careers. However, they realize they want change in their own personal lives. Okay, not just the change that they go to church on Sunday and then the pastor says you are healed, we break all generational curses, and then you walk out there and you believe everything's fine, but you go and still
you didn't do the work.
Exactly,
you didn't do the work.
So that kind of unfolded this piece of my work that I'm doing now. So I believe all of these things together we're unfolding at different times, but culminating into where I am right now.
Yes.
Right? And I don't believe that this is the end. Okay.
Yes,
I believe it's still unfolding.
Yes.
But I think it's been quite a journey. It gives me a different perspective from other cultures as well, because I do have this spiritual background, this theological background. I do have this corporate business background as well. So the not even the two, the holistic experiences of my life make me the coach that I am today. Yeah.
Wow. Sure, guys, I'm loving today's guest. Like, it's like I'm getting therapy for free. You know, it can be quite pricey, guys. Yo,
I'll send you the invoice.
No, I don't know. No. So, what has been the lows? You know, like those moments when you went through the valley of the shadow of death, where the dream had to die, where the calling had to die, where, you know, the seed was just in the ground, but you kept watering it, but you didn't see anything happening.
Yeah.
You know, take us through that part of your journey, you know, because a lot of people forget that, you know what, in life, guys, you can never be somewhere without having the scars to show. You know, you have to, you know, you know, for us to actually respect you even, which, okay, you know, because even in emsebenzini, like a normal corporate, you know, emsebenzini, you don't just get a promotion. You have to encourage us, you know, promotion comes from God, but it is God that will touch a heart, you know, it's time.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
So,
and it's painful, but you know that, you know what, at the end, Father, I'm not just going through this for nothing. You know, like, so take us through that part where it was bleak and obsolete, where you were like, am I coming or am I going? Or, you know, take us through that. I think for me, why I take my guests through this question is because I want people to see, even the young ones that are coming, you know, after us, which, but they have no idea that, you know what, even for the life that we live, the lifestyle that we give our children, we had to pay a price for it. You know, it hasn't been easy, you know, and there's no glory without a story, you know. So I think for me, that's important that my listeners, that people get to know the crux of the matter. You know what? I mean, even in the Bible.
Yeah.
Look at Jesus. Look at Abraham. Look at what he had to go through.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a very interesting question. I'll give you my perspective right on this, but definitely just like just like I think most of us. Look, I grew up poor. I grew up poor.
Okay.
But I really believe God gave me this gift of not being attached to things, right? And so I grew up really poor, guys, like poor. Not the
cheesecake poor.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have DSTV. Or PlayStation.
Yeah, so I grew up poor. You know, my grandmother raising me with my other cousins. But I had this thing of not realizing how poor I was, right? or not really having a problem,
Mhm.
not being morose by, the conditions.
Yes.
And I also account that to how my grandmother was. She
Mhm.
was very resourceful in that,
Uh-huh.
she'd do things and make a bit of money here
Yes.
and here.
Yes.
However, she was also strong of
Mm.
character and strong in faith.
Yes.
My
Yes.
grandmother would wake up every morning at 4 and pray and wake me up to say the Lord's Prayer. And then I'll be like, they're sleepy. I'm not a morning person at all.
Yes.
Ne? But my grandmother would wake me up at 4, and then she'll say, Tandas,
Yeah,
and I'll be going there in Zulu.
Yeah.
"Oh, Father, Baba, it's just Zulu." And then I'll be falling asleep halfway through,
Yeah.
and then she'll pinch me to wake up.
Oh, how beautiful is that?
So I grew up in this situation, really being poor, right? But bright, being this bright kid,
yes, there was so much grace.
Yeah, I was bright, but I was, I had low self-esteem. I never believed that, I was worth looking at. I had, I grew up not really I believe in my mental capacity, in my mental abilities. But
yes.
look, if you're a girl, you were expected to be pretty. Like you were
Yes.
expected for people to keep saying, "Oh, muhle
Muhle
kanjani,"
kanjani,
Yes.
yes.
I was not that girl. I was not that girl.
Yes.
Or that muhle kanjani. Like I grew up not having those.
Mm.
And so, yes, I'm growing up poor. I'm growing up in an environment where there are not a lot of, role models, a
Okay.
lot of, people that I can look up to who can
Yes.
show me
Yes.
a different type of life, right?
Yes.
And I think because I was not attached to things, like I was not the person who's like, "Oh, I'm so sad we don't have a car like that house."
Yes.
I was not that kid.
Yes.
But I made a decision that I understood that I was gifted, like in terms of mentally,
Yes.
right? But I understood that I didn't have the people I needed to kind of show me, what do I do with this gift?
Yes,
Like
just
I've
to
got the brain.
groom that
What do I
gift.
do? Like where do I
Yes.
go with it?
Yes.
I made a decision from a young age that I would be who I needed to be, who I needed at that time.
Wow.
So I made a decision that when I grow up, I'll be that person
Mm.
who is visible and available for young people,
Yes.
young girls, that this is what you do with your gift, right? And I think that has carried me through. So that's one. I grew up poor. That's if you understand poverty, you understand what a huge stumbling block, and poverty is actually quite traumatic in itself, and it's damaging to the self-esteem, it's damaging psychologically. It can really hold you.
It's a stronghold.
Yes,
it's a stronghold.
So that's that part. And then when in the year that I moved from my grandmother to stay with my parents as a teenager, my parents got divorced. So I never really got to live with both my parents.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
That's another huzuging. Right?
Huzuging.
So here I am, really getting excited that I'm going to live with my parents, like finally, right? And I mean, at that time, when I left to stay with my grandmother, I couldn't understand, why am I the only one who's not staying with mom, right?
Okay.
C7, like she's got 7 kids, and I'm number 5. Like, why am I in
grace and perfection?
So I'm number. My logic was, I mean, why am I the one who's not staying with her? Like, what's wrong with me?
Yes.
Even now, I understand what happened, but back then, I struggled. I felt abandoned.
Sure.
You understand? And so having gone through that, and then now going back to stay with my parents, and then they get divorced. And then I have to move to Joburg to stay with my brother.
Sure.
So I'm still not staying with my parents.
Yes. Now it's a sibling, from grandma to a sibling.
My big brother, right? I think, is one of the people who raised me.
Wow.
And so now I realize that actually I'm not getting what I thought I was getting a year ago, and that was quite traumatic. Well, divorce is traumatic on kids in any way, in any case.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to paint a picture of how life can give you opportunity to interact with pain. Right, quite on a.
Can you please repeat that?
Life will give you an opportunity to interact with pain.
Did you hear that, guys? Please repeat it again. I'm sorry, you are now lodging it in my head.
Life will give you an opportunity to interact with pain. And it is not sadistic just for you to suffer and life laughs at you,
Yes.
but it's for you, it's so that you can really be cornered into looking within yourself and see who you really are.
To really be cornered
Yeah,
into looking into yourself.
You know, when you're cornered, you have no other view.
No, your back is up against the wall.
You can only
Yeah.
look at yourself. You don't have a nice view of you, a panoramic view.
No. There's no Camps Bay views, there's nothing. Yes.
The only place that you can look when you are cornered, when you are in pain, is within yourself. Well, obviously, you can choose to look at who you can blame for the pain that you're experiencing, right? However, that's not the intention of the experience. The experience is not to reinforce what a victim you are, but the experience of pain is so that you can see yourself, really see who you are, so that you can come out of the pain, come out of the corner, and then express and embody that who who you really are,
the essence,
right? The essence of your soul, the essence of God within you, the love of God within you, the power of God within you, the magic of God, the transformative power of God that can take something that looks a certain way and makes it look a totally different way. The power of God is transformative, but it also transmutes. You know, when we talk about transmutation in chemistry, we're talking about taking an element.
The boffin in her is coming out now. The brains are coming out.
When you transmutation is taking an element, right? For example, you take lead, right, or you maybe add a catalyst, a different type of element to interact with it, so that it can become something else and something better.
Yes.
So transformation is taking an element from this level to a higher level, and that's what that's what life, that's what God, that's what we also choose to use to evolve. Yes, to allow ourselves to evolve from what we used to be to what we can be. So pain can have a serious beautiful purpose.
So we need pain in our lives. I'm asking because from pain we transform. From pain can actually make you or break you.
Yes. So honestly, I am learning.
Is that a controversial question?
It is.
I'm very controversial.
You are controversial. Yeah. So the truth, Tumie, this is what I believe, right? It's my perspective, right? We can write a thesis about it and see.
Yes.
I really believe that suffering is necessary until we realize it is not. Okay. We
guys, this woman, like, you are blowing my mind. Like, this is my favorite topic. Like, you are properly blowing my mind, and I really appreciate you. Like, you have no idea, Fezi. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Like, you are actually lodging an indelible mark in my soul. Like, you speaking to my inner man. Like, I'm so excited inside. Like, it's beautiful because you're connecting the dots. You're making so much sense, I think I'm also in a place in my life where I'm really going through so much that my back is against the wall, and I know that something
must
like
happen.
could be shaking. Like,
one
guys
must die.
are here, you better be ready.
I think this
Oh
expression will fit a situation like that. You know how we say, one must die.
Yeah. Yes.
And when we say one must die, what I would say to you is that you are being asked, right, to allow what is not you to die. The stuff that you've told yourself in fear to die.
Yes, and you know very well.
Yes. The
The
things that the world has told you are or you should be, all the shoulds and the shouldn'ts, those are the Tumies that must die because they are not the real Tumies.
Guys, free therapy. You're gonna pay.
So when I say suffering is necessary until we realize it is not, I mean that fear can teach, pain can teach, suffering can teach, but I do believe that love is the best teacher. Okay, we can learn lessons in fear. I'll make an example. Right, we both have small kids, like we have toddlers, and we can choose to teach them using fear by hitting them or giving them hiding, because that's a fear-based teaching. You're trying to teach them, if this happens, you're going to get a hiding, it's going to be painful. So they're going to remember that fear, and it will kind of control their behavior. However, we can teach the same lesson from love. Okay. So having said that, I mean, there are certain things that we could have learned without the pain, but perhaps we were not allowing the teaching of love to yes, we're not even seeing that we are being taught. Okay. And also, the truth of the matter is the world has been fear-based for the longest of time. Okay, right? We vote for people because we are afraid. If we don't vote for this one, the wrong one. So pain has kind of informed our decisions. But I do believe that the world is shifting. There is a change. People are realizing that we don't have to suffer to learn lessons. We can learn lessons in love. Okay. But I'm putting it forward as a new paradigm. Okay. Perhaps it's something we're going to experience more and more of. Okay. Perhaps the future generations won't have to go through as much pain because we are beginning to teach them more and more using love. I hope that makes sense.
Guys, on that note, we're going to play Oli Mwango, Healing Power. We're all about healing and finding a way forward to becoming the best you. Like, our voices sound so nice. Sure.
Thank you so much for this. Thank you for being yourself.
No, this is me. Like, I cannot, like, I don't know. Really? I have nothing to hide. Like, I think it's a lot of work to put makeup and be who you're not. Like, this is honestly really me. I don't have, like, oh my God, it takes a lot.
It is work.
I'm still, why is it so sad you said you look at it with Kelly? No, like, you don't sound in the studio. I'm gonna get married.
This one is not for
Can we go live without having to put it on? So I don't have to decrease anything. I can just up and talk. Okay. I don't feel like why would your format answer? I go, hello, Tumie. Who's that? No, ma'am, this is how you know my man. Who's the name in Kaya? So another thing I think with my personality, I've been an artist for like 15 years, a professional dancer.
Oh, beautiful.
And I was moved by so big, so you can imagine.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like I was taught to just be myself.
Yeah.
So now I'm in corporate. I work at the JSC and I'm always so triggered. And you know, like I asked God, like, what am I doing? It's like, you need to learn. I know that you're not a consumer, but you need to learn how to conform and when not to. Like, really know. These people, they don't know who I am.
Yeah, it's like
I don't care.
Perhaps you're being called to ground your energies and ground your gifts, right? Because that structure can afford you an opportunity to really know what it feels to be grounded, right? When you're a creative, an artist,
Like, I feel like
yeah, like your energy is
I
like,
don't know who I am. You know,
Yeah.
yes, it's so tough.
yeah.
It's so tough.
Like you could be called, you could be being taught to focus your energies, right? To channel your energies quite intently, as opposed to just creatively. Yeah, So it's that whole dance of the masculine and the feminine. Yeah,
Exactly.
you need the
I
balance.
spoke about this. Like, I have a very good friend of mine who came away from home. She actually has discipled me in the face. I call her Rabbi. She told me me exactly that way. You're confirming what, because I always share with her the frustration. Like, I'm not going to do it. Like, why do you not have to listen to the you listen to the no.
You're being taught to balance. Because it's all in
I'm
you.
always arguing with my life manager. I'm like, listen, listen. And look at the Holy Spirit. No! Then I go to the bathroom and I'm Father, help me! And I always just picture
I'm sure he has a good laugh. Don't worry about it. He's not like, go do me.
I think it's open. Never know. Let's have a
He made it.
Oh my
He
God.
made it.
I'm telling you, like, I feel so challenged in that space. And not Tabela, it's an amazing place to be. Like, the minute that was okay, so when you work, like, oh wow, okay, so okay, you know, and the opportunities that they offer is like, am I really there? You know?
But it's fine to me not to feel the connection there. It's okay, right? It's okay to have a different desire. You don't have to just because it's great, then okay, it's great, so I'll stay. You know, if your desire and your dream is not there, right?
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine because there's something people don't get about desire, the power of desire. Desire is what made us to be here, right? Like your parents, they desired each other, and you are here. God desired creation, and we are here. The universe is here, but God desired something. So respect, honor, have reverence for your desire to be somewhere else, but get clear what that somewhere else is.
Yo, guys, yeah, we are not fine. It's like I'm talking to my sister Ate, like one of my therapists, Ate. Now I'm saying it's that's why I'm kind of about God to say so right? You can put them on if you want, and it's like
Streaming live on ChavalComsRadio.co.za, the radio that comes to you, Chavalcoms Radio.
we are back live on Breaking Through with Tumie. Guys, I'm sitting with a guru powerhouse, Fezi, a holistic life coach. I mean, we have unpacked so much, you know, so much already of the importance of us as children of God, as Abantu, you know, the importance of being better versions of ourselves, because it's not like you don't want to. You really want to. You really want to. I get to that wants to stay stagnant in one place, always the same, nothing is changing, you know? And this thing of us always trying to duck and dive and shortchange, change, it's a problem because we have to evolve. We are in a process of becoming. Remember about Michelle Obama becoming what, don't. Guys, that's real. We always have to evolve to become that which we are called for. And we can only become that which we are called for even more, but only in glory as we transition. Because Abba, you are called for a certain time to deliver a certain message and to lead a certain sermon and transition into glory. So going back to our amazing, phenomenal, text-free, I say text-free because guys, this is a proper free consultation. I'm very happy. You know, we're going back to Fez. Like Fez, I want to know, like, what were the biggest breakthroughs in your life where you were like, wow, Lord, I see you moving, you know? Mm-hmm. I see you moving. And to say, you know what, like with my life journey, I never had an opportunity to be raised by my mom and dad under one roof, but Father, I've seen you move, you know, I've seen you move. Like I can imagine the relationship you have with your brother now, you know, and the kind of prayers that you pray for him and his family, you know, and the kind of prayer warrior you are from our Father, you know, the pinching from Ugrani, you know, for you to, you know, what she has lodged in you, you know, and your biggest breakthroughs in your life and in your family. Yes.
Wow. So like I shared with you earlier that I'm the type of person who's really not attached to things. It's quite interesting. I find it interesting myself. Yes. So I would say this. I look at my life as consecutive miraculous life. Like
Mm.
every single day is a
Yes.
miracle, is a
Yes.
breakthrough.
Mhm.
I say this because, I mean, when you gave me a call
Yes.
and you asked me about it, I told you I was
Mm.
expecting it.
Wow.
Because I expect miracle. Like I
Mhm.
expect the supernatural in my life.
Wow.
So if, let's say, I was going to share with you the biggest
Mhm.
moments in my life, there are
Mhm.
so many because I
Wow.
expect them.
Wow.
Right?
So you live in a life of expectancy.
Yes.
Wow.
And
Woo. Wow, guys.
the truth is, spirit doesn't disappoint.
Mm.
Okay, I'm not saying that my life is without any challenges.
Mhm.
I call my life a consecutive miraculous life because for you to have a miracle, there has to be kind of a challenge, like an
Yes.
opposing thing.
Okay, an
And then
opposing
like so,
thing,
there has to be
yes.
kind of a situation that is challenging
Mhm.
that helps you. And I love
Mhm.
challenges because this is what challenges do.
Mhm.
They help us get clear on what we really want and what we really don't want.
Mhm.
So when you're in a situation and you're saying, I really don't like how my finances are looking right now,
Mhm.
that challenge has helped you
Mhm.
get clear what you can
Mhm.
accept and what you cannot accept.
Mhm.
And that's when I say the miracles come in, because
Mm.
I'm in a situation where I don't want to. For example,
Mm.
you mentioned how I grew up.
Mm.
I made a decision that I want to raise my own kids
Mhm.
and stay with my husband,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And that is a
Mhm.
miracle, a daily miracle, because I have to
Sorry.
I have to rely on the supernatural. I have to rely on spirit to help me to do this thing, because marriage is not easy.
Sure.
Parenting is not easy.
Mhm.
But because I have set the intention to
Mhm.
live this life and do things differently,
Mhm.
the Spirit of God comes and miraculously
Miraculously,
supports
yes.
my efforts, my doing, my being in my relationships.
Yes.
And I think that I would say even that could be one of the biggest breakthroughs in my life, that I'm able to live this life that I've intended to live, to raise my own kids and stay with my husband
Yes.
and be happy.
Wow.
So I think it's a great breakthrough if
Yes.
you understand where I come from.
Yes. Wow.
But there's so many. Like
Wow.
I'm always relying on spirit to
Wow.
deliver the miracles.
Wow. So tell us more about your business. Now we're talking about your business, where are you based? How can people find you, and what kind of packages do you offer? Like in terms of, let's say I want a therapist in you, and I want to walk a journey with you, because of course we're all about results. You're all about also seeing which, wow, so this program that I've implemented with Tumie 1, 2, 3, it has worked. So how do you work, and what is your business, your different packages, and where can one find you? Yes.
Awesome. So I coach one-on-one. So I work with my clients one-on-one, but I also do group coaching.
How does group coaching work?
Group coaching, it's a beautiful process, because
Really?
how the modalities of group coaching are great, because as a coach, you need to know how to create a safe space for people to come together and help each other heal. Okay.
Wow,
So it's like
okay.
you create a cocoon or a womb of healing with these people who have had perhaps similar experiences and have similar intentions about their healing and their transformation. So we use certain techniques and modalities to foster that safe space, that openness and trust, for me to facilitate the healing and facilitate the learning, because not all my programs are about healing.
Okay.
Sometimes it's about learning.
Okay, and leadership and the likes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the group can really support you in that you can learn from other people. It's just not me and you, okay? And you can get the support of the group when I'm not around. For example, you can be on the group chat together and just if there's homework, you can help each other with the homework or debrief each other with the homework. So it's quite a supportive space. However, it's not the space that you can have forever. right?
Okay.
But you can have one-on-ones for 12 months, okay, and really go deep, quite deep, and it's focused on you. So it depends what your needs are. So the group coaching and the one-on-one. I do work both virtually and in person. And COVID has really been a blessing in that.
Yes, there's a blessing in everything, guys.
Yes.
Not everyone has had setbacks in COVID. Life is not fair, guys. Favor is not fair either. So please, until you make a peace with those things, guys, trust me, you won't move. You'll always be Miss Victim, Mr. Victim. Favor is not fair, and there's good in every bad. So trust,
Guys.
Yes, tell us about the goodness of COVID in your life.
So COVID, I call it the Corona bonus.
The Corona bonus.
Okay, so there are things that have gone terribly bad for us
a lot
all.
of people.
Okay, we've shared. It's been a traumatic experience.
Jobs has been lost. Yes.
And the staying at home, the lockdowns, a lot of our freedoms were taken away. So for all of us, we share a traumatic experience. Okay, so granted, it's been tough for all of us. But there has been great opportunities in this time, opportunities to work differently, as I'm referring to working online, opportunities to look within yourself, like to be cornered in your house, have no one to gossip with, and gossip with yourself about your own stuff, because that you haven't seen anyone else in 6 months. So gossip with yourself about yourself, so that you can see where you need work. So there has been some bonuses with the Corona. So my Corona bonus is that I've been able to work internationally through online coaching. Okay. So that's been a beautiful blessing, right? And I have an upcoming coaching program, a group coaching program called Shadow Work.
Shadow work. Okay.
So shadow work, guys.
What is shadow
It's
work?
not ibogo or like some dark evil stuff.
No,
you know,
people, like,
sometimes
they start
people
making
like they get worried about and I think also people fear shadow work because they think it's about looking at your ugly parts, like the things that you don't like about yourself. But that's not really what it is. Shadow work is about looking into yourself holistically, like your entire self, the parts that are wonderful, the parts that are weird, and the parts that are wounded. Because
I love it. I'm going to be one of your clients. Shadow work.
Yes, come through. It's going to be a powerful time. So the parts that we normally think are ugly about ourselves, the things that we are ashamed of, when you take a moment if I were to ask you, what are you most ashamed of about yourself? Don't tell me.
No, for me, it's the body, guys. I've always, like, even everyone that knows me, they'll tell you, Fezi, you've always told us about your body. And what I've noticed actually is that even when my body was hot, I was still complaining.
Always, we do that. So what I'm saying, the issue that your shadow is not your body or how you speak of your body. It's deeper than that. No. It's not even ukudla. Ukudla is the treatment. It's how you're medicating yourself. Okay. Perhaps I can't diagnose. We haven't worked together.
Come with it. I'm sorry, guys. This is my best interview ever. I'm sorry, guys. This is no.
So when we speak about the parts of you that are wounded, right? You find our issues with our bodies and our self-esteem are coming from the shadow of unworthiness.
The shadow of unworthiness. Wow.
So perhaps as a child in your formative years, maybe there was some abandonment or neglect, or perhaps you were just told that, and something's wrong, and I'm done papa too much, or when you try and speak, you feel like you don't have the space to be who you really are. You're not accepted, you get judged, and that can really lodge some serious unworthiness. And then you go to church, they tell you such a sinner you are, and you are 7 years old. Hey, you are a sinner. You a bad child. And all of those things that are being said to us, they get lodged into our subconscious mind, and we start to really believe them. We form these beliefs that govern our patterns and our behaviors. For example, if you are overeating, you could be overeating because
emotional eating.
Emotional eating. You could be emotional eating and overeating because perhaps you think that you were too skinny at some point and people made fun of you, right? And they never accepted you. You were not worthy to be part of the group. Okay, so to be worthy, you need to eat, right? Or perhaps you grow up poor like myself, and there was never
Yes.
enough food, and so now you are overcompensating, overeating because there was never enough food,
Sure.
and you felt unworthy because you didn't have the lunchbox that everybody
Sure.
had. Then can you see the
Yes,
unworthiness?
like, yo.
Okay, so your issues with your body, it's not just like, oh, I've got stretch marks or maybe it's quite deeper than that, and it comes from mostly it comes from our childhood. Yeah. And I do want to say though that there are things shadows or wounds that we carry from previous generations. So that is
so it's generational
It can.
curses also. It could be
I don't like that
curses or
word.
bloodline. What word do you use?
So you can use it if you like
Yes.
generational curses.
We all for new things, guys.
So-
we are learning.
So I would call it generational patterns. and
Generational
patterns
guys,
and-
not curses.
Yeah, because like when you say curse,
And
it sounds like
bloodline.
Yeah, like in your lineage,
Okay,
right?
yes.
So generational, ancestral, lineage, bloodline, all of that. That's generational. Okay. So when we say curses, it sounds like there was like a wizard or a
Like,
witch
"Bah!
or
Nzima."
on the
Yeah.
pile, you know.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding that there is that world, right? There is that, but I do want to say that a lot of the things that we call curses are things that we have vowed in ourselves. Okay.
Sure.
You find a person, I don't know why I'm not I'm not or I'm not getting married. But if you were to work with them and you take them back to when they were 6 years old and they saw their big sister show a boyfriend, they decided, I want nothing to do with men, or I never want to get married because my aunt was beaten by her husband, right? So we made vows. We can make vows even when we are not fully developed, when we are young, or a vow that was made by your great grandmother, right, who was left by a husband who went to work in the mines and never came back.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
And made a vow that abantwana bam, they will never suffer this being rejected like this or forgotten like this, and so they will never get married.
Sure.
And you wonder why in the lineage, like abantwana bamantombazane, they're not getting married. It's the grandmother's vow, and she made it out of love because she was trying to protect them from being abandoned and rejected. You understand? So if you call it a curse, it sounds something else. Yeah.
Oh, I love this. It's like we can talk forever. Like, wow, yes.
So the parts that we don't like about ourselves, the parts that we are ashamed about ourselves, it's just our wounded parts that need healing. They just need attention.
I'm definitely coming to the shadow work, guys. Me, I'm going. I don't know about you.
Please come through, guys. It's on the 6th of July. It's online, and then on the 9th, the Saturday, we're coming together. Now we heal. Now we work. Now
so
we
where's
transform.
it going to be geographically? Is it in Joburg or?
It's in Joburg.
Okay.
The venue will be built to the people who have registered.
Okay.
Once you register,
guys. Abuna mahala free.
Yeah.
It's not a CSI project. No.
Yes, and also there is some pre-work that I like to send out in all my programs, so that by the time we figure out, we are very, very intentional, focused. We are straight and 20. Like there's no dilly darling. There's no not sure what we're working with. So I do send out some pre-work so that when you come, like I know how I can perhaps best help you or facilitate your healing.
So how old do you think Uguti Abantwana can start having a therapist?
No, there's play therapy. From 1 years old, they can go to play therapy.
But is there a difference, Umtwana, that has been in therapy since they were 1? 16 months, and then Kona Umtwana that has never been. Is there a difference between these children in how they see life, how they present themselves to the world, and how they react to setbacks and challenges and the likes?
So I don't work with children, but I would believe that there would be a difference. Okay.
Wow.
Because we grow up in situations where there's really no safe space to really process our emotions. Even processing is another thing, but just acknowledging our
Yes.
emotions. We are taught by society that emotions are not to be trusted. Emotions are bad. If you're emotional, you are weak. Okay, and you should never be. Even like an infant, when they are crying, when we try and comfort them, we tell them literally to stop being emotional, because we go shh, 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 shh. So we are saying to an infant, it's not okay to express your emotions, as opposed to comforting a child and just saying, you're gonna be okay. I'm sorry. You know, the shh, shh is different to I'm sorry. You're gonna be okay. It's totally a different thing. You get to, to be in your tweens. Maybe you are 10, 11. When you are emotional, you are called a sissy. If you're a boy, if you're a girl, ooh, there's Kai baby. You get to being a teenager. You are told that don't show a boy that you like them. So don't express your feelings. Okay.
Yes.
So throughout life, even the movies that we see on TV, they're about if you show your emotions, you show weakness.
Yes.
Worse.
And
in business.
If you're in a relationship, bese utshela indoda yakho ukuthi uyamthanda.
Wamtshela kuqala,
Wamtshela, kushuthi umthanda ukundlula yena, and then it's downhill.
So the picture I'm trying to paint is that therapy or being able to receive these services such as life coaching can afford you a safe space to really understand what your emotions are, what they're trying to communicate, and express them in a safe space, so that you can heal the parts or heed the message that they're trying to communicate and really help your life along. So it does make a difference.
Fezi Twala, Mrs. Fezi Twala.
Tumie Dao.
Oh, thank you so much for this awesome time. I think one thing that I'm grateful for is that our people, especially our people, they need to know ukuthi it's not ukuthi uyahlanya or you can't handle your life when you go out seeking for psychological help. There's nothing wrong. There's actually power in what that decision that you're about to take. You know what? I actually want to walk with Fezi. There's actually so much power, because you also get to avoid a lot of things, and the dots connect. All those questions that you thought they were rhetorical in your head, they're actually questions that are able to be answered.
Yes.
And noguti, until we accept it, you know what? Hayi ukuthi umamakho uzonda umamakho because ukhulise kanje. No, she did the best she knew how.
Yeah.
She did the best with what she knew how.
Yes.
And I struggled a lot with that, Nami. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I struggled a lot with that. Mama, I want Ruta next singing, like Kit Kwatela Mamaka and the likes. And I remember when I went back to my mom and I said, Mama, I'm so sorry. I was sorry for Ingrid Tumelo, I'm like, oh, Mama, because now, and my mom,
she's your mother.
And until I understood, this woman did the best she knew how. I mean, my dad called us individually with my siblings. I've got 3 other siblings, 4 rather, but 3 from one father, 2 from one father. Was phoning individually. He thought he was on his deathbed, dying. He's still alive, by God's grace.
You see how pain did him a favor?
Yeah, and then we asked Fonela, no, I'm very sorry, on the way he said, no, Papa. Forgive. I mean, if I didn't forgive you, I don't think I'd be where I am in my life. And I think you did the best you knew how. I mean, I had to go back, Papa, and understand that you never had a father, you were raised your mom was the way that she was. And I mean, you didn't know any better, and you didn't have, God didn't put in you that desire for you to want to be different, to want to know why. You just dealt with pain the way that you dealt. He was so surprised.
That's actually beautiful. Can I just share this?
Yeah.
This is my thought about our parents. And I love the perspective that you're sharing, that we need to understand that you can only give what you have.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can only parent from what you know.
Yes.
And so, people would ask me, why is this, for example, coaching? What is this? Why is it now becoming this thing, this big thing? Everyone wants to have a coach. And therapy. Why? And then the depression. Why is everyone depressed? And our parents were never like that. The truth is, life was different for them. Okay, for them, the number one priority was to survive. Okay, to get to work without uhlangane with the police and the police dog and the yellow van. Like, you had to ensure that at least you survive. There was no luxury to sit with yourself in quietness. When you're full, when you're not worrying about your basic needs. You have shelter, you have food. Maybe you don't have a job, but you're not worried about getting picked up by the police because you child and apartheid is saying you shouldn't be here. The truth of the matter is, the reason why we are so in touch with our emotions now is because they did the work. Like, they were able to survive. They did not die in those difficult times. They were able to hold fort, if I can put it like that. Even though they were not in touch with their emotions and not even realize how damaged and traumatized they were, but they were able to survive. And we should give them that. Right? And so they were raising us from a point of survival, not a point of flourishing and thriving. So it's totally different. You can teach your daughter what it is to thrive because you're not worried about survival. You're not worried that you shouldn't be in Sandton because you're black.
I mean, I should be here. Hello.
Like, there's no question in your mind. And so the things that you are bringing forth in your parenting, it's totally different. Okay, so that's why we are struggling with depression now, because we have time and the luxury to be in our feelings. We have time and luxury to be in our feelings. They never had that. They never had, and they couldn't even teach us. I want Ruta next. She just wanted to make sure there's bread. Like, can I be here for my kids and get a job somewhere and try and figure out what it is to be a working mom, or you know what I mean? So we have to understand the times and the seasons. Okay,
it's like the sons of Issachar, guys.
Yes,
come on.
We have to be able to read and understand the times and seasons, understand where the previous generations they came from, right? Even our great parents. I mean, the traumas that they have experienced. They raised our children, right? They raised our parents. Our parents are mostly boomers, right? And boomers were raised by the silent generation. The silent generation was out of the First World War, right? The boomers were born from the Second World War. So you can understand the energy or the atmosphere of the world when they were born, right? It has a very huge impact on who you become, the atmosphere, the season that you are born into. So these people are raising us from, we need to survive. We just need to ensure that we don't die of smallpox, because it was recently introduced to Africa, in the early 1900s. Our children need to ensure that they don't die from cholera. It was just about survival. But now they've done that work. We have to honor that and take on the baton and heal the other parts and heal for them as well. Because what we heal in our generation, we heal in the previous and we heal in the future generation. We heal across all timelines. That's the beauty about healing, because our children don't have to deal with the stuff that we've healed. Okay, they can take the baton and heal the other stuff that we couldn't get to. But perhaps we've healed the generations before us and the future generations on these things that are coming up in our awareness, that we are saying, okay, I'm going to heal this stuff. I'm not going to live my life feeling unworthy, because I am worthy. I am from God. I am of God, right? And so unworthiness cannot be a part of who I am. It's not my being. Okay.
She's such a teacher, like, okay. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Ne. But I want you to please leave your number and your website where people can get a hold of you, because I know I'm going to be having a lot of, already my inbox, people are already, dropping inboxes. I can't wait to see, what they're saying. But your numbers, how does one get a hold of you, because I met you on Instagram, and you're right, it was an appointed time, because I was just led. I was like, okay, Lord, what are you saying? Who is coming? Because you don't just want anyone. you know.
Yeah.
And I was just led to you. I saw holistic, and then I saw you were actually advertising your retreat that's coming up, and I was like, no, let me just touch base with this woman.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. Thank you for touching base.
Anything, guys, for God's people. Yeah.
So my website is Fezi. It's FEZY Twala.com. That's my website. My email address is Fezi at FeziTwala.com. FEZY@FEZYTHWALA.com.
Come on.
My number is 076-314-5134. Okay,
Please
guys.
repeat it.
Also 076-314-5134. Please get in touch with me during office hours.
Yes, guys, not after that. She's married, she's got 2 children. Please respect the business. And she's a professional, of course. So no chances here, guys. We are breaking through with Tumie. We have had an amazing, amazing time, an amazing hour and 11 minutes with Fezi Twala, guys. Please go and check her Instagram handles. Also, she's known as Fezi Twala on Instagram, on Facebook. Are you on Twitter?
No.
She's not really a Twitter girl because the streets are very rough, you know. So, guys, let's do the right thing. Let's support. Let's grow. Beyond supporting, let's grow. Let us grow. Let us strive to be the people that we really call to be. Like, this victim mentality needs to stop. Like, it's done. It's done. If not you, then who? You know, let's keep it moving, guys. Let's keep evolving. As she leaves, we're signing out with Klengiwe Pearl Ihubo. Let's go.
You're such a star. Thank you. Your show is great.
Thank you, guys. I'm signing out. Bye-bye. I'm having one-on-one with my doctor. Bye. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
I'm going to listen to your show. You're great. You're amazing. All the best.
Thank you so much.
The best.
What do you mean? I actually love this song. This week was good, yeah. But then,
I really like
yes, I have like a connection ready. So I need to find somebody that can like open Hey, Carson, what do you have in your house like this? Oh, Central Fan. That was Klenyiwe with Uhubo. Let's enjoy Enter In by Sade Martin. All those that know me, they know me through the song. Let's go.
Hallelujah.
Hey.
Yeah, so